Hey everybody. So I know that I promised that I wouldn't be taking so long on the next video, but I accidentally waited another 7 months to make another video. Sorry about that. But this time I have excuses, I swear. I've been keeping busy. My hands have not been kept idle. I have loads of animation stuff I've been working on. I really wanted to finish this animation in 2 months' time. I tried to like bookmark it as be like, all right, this is how much I want to get done in 2 months. And that was 3 months ago, and I'm about halfway done. So I guess it's more like a 6-month timeline, but it's going really good. I mean, I have lots of awesome footage. I got my script written out. I'm really stoked about how that's going to come out. So things were going pretty smooth with that. I also started a business, and that's been doing really well and keeping me really busy. So it's been harder and harder to find time to work on stuff. I'd love to make another video about just the business stuff because it's like I've been learning so much about that. But then everything got stopped in its tracks because I got hacked. I'm pretty good generally about spotting hacks, and I've been trying to keep up with how they've been evolving. But I got completely taken off guard with this one. I did not even kind of see it coming. I think the last time that I almost got hacked or scammed was when I was looking for work really hard a few years ago, and it was somebody who had like formatted a letter for a job that was just like it was perfect. It looked exactly like somebody who was offering me a job, but the one thing that was a little bit weird was that it paid really well, and so we all know that that doesn't normally happen out of the blue. So that was actually my cue to like look into it further, and yeah, it wound up being a scam. But this one was a scam on Discord, and I was being messaged by somebody that I knew. And so whenever I went through this experience, I immediately started looking through if anybody else had made videos about it. And there are people making videos about it, but a lot of them have like the mechanics of what to do in this situation, which is helpful. But I feel like there's a lot to say about what just happened because it was crazy. It made me feel things I haven't felt in like ages. And I think that's worth talking about. I also want to talk about what it takes to avoid scams like this. And even if you got scammed, if I was better about my security, it wouldn't have been so bad or close to being so bad. So we'll talk about all that stuff in this video. So let me take you through it, like actually logistically what happened. So Discord is one of those, I know it's got a bad rap in a few different ways, especially security-wise, but I got messaged by a friend on Discord. And this particular friend isn't somebody I talk to super regularly, but when I do, it's normally about things like video games, because her boyfriend is a 3D artist. And so I give him tips through her on various things all the time. And she basically asked me for help play testing a friend's game. So I'm sure some people are already like dinging their red flags. But for me, I was like, oh, yeah, this sounds like something that she would actually ask me to do. But I was in the middle of making dinner for the whole family. So I was like, I'll just do this later. And she was like, well, can you at least like download it and make a profile so I can add you as a friend? And I was like, that's such a pain. I was getting kind of frustrated, but I was like, all right, this is for a friend. I'll do it real quick. I'll just get it downloaded. And I came down to my office and I downloaded it. And then I double clicked on that executable, and things immediately started going wrong. I thought it was just like, literally what I was thinking was, man, this is a really heavy game. It's really laggy, because my whole computer just started like chugging. And then all of a sudden my Discord shut down, opened back up, and all my servers were gone, all my friends were gone, and all I had was one friend from the hacker and a message that basically said, like, I just hacked you, I have all your passwords, I have all of your personal information, your banking information, I have everything. And it also had screenshots of all my monitors. And I was just like, uh-oh. He was asking for $100, which I thought was strange, but I'll get more into that. But so my theory on why he just wanted $100 is because I bet you he wanted you to log into your bank account on that computer, and then when you log in, he could probably record or like send him some of your private information and like get into your bank account. So I think that's probably what was going on. But in either case, I wasn't going to give him anything. I was just like, I have to get out of this right now. He was like, all this goes away if you give me $100. And then he kept sending me messages. But I immediately shut down my computer. I was just like shaking and just like thinking about what I needed to do. And so I immediately started changing all my passwords. I just like went through and I changed the big ones first, the email, the Discord, and just radiated outward from there. And basically, I did the core ones right off the bat, but then I actually went up and finished dinner because I was in the middle of it. I literally had food on the stove. So I did that. I told my wife, hey, I got to deal with this. I just got hacked. And she was super supportive and like took care of the family and everything. And so I went through and missed dinner that night, and I just changed every single password I could. Like I just was very hopeful that that's all I needed to do. So that night, it was probably like a few hours later, I looked at my accounts and I was keeping a super close eye on everything, and I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. But I got a hold of the girl that sent me the message that he was posing as, and she had gotten hacked, and she did not catch it right away, and she got locked out of everything. I mean, her bank, her email, just absolutely everything. Like she was screwed. And so feel super bad for her, and she felt super bad for like it getting to me. But honestly, like I got ahead of it as far as I could tell. And then I was hoping that I could just run scans and catch it. But when I ran Malwarebytes, I downloaded a couple other ones, and nothing was coming up. It was coming up clean. Like my computer was fine, and I knew that it wasn't. And so I wound up using AI even to see if I could see what it would come up with. And it was pretty helpful in this case. I wound up being able to find the exact process that was running on my computer and find the source file for it and uninstall it, delete all the files, delete the caches. And according to everything that this general hack was, I thought maybe I was being the clear at that point. But the thing is, you don't know. Like somebody was in your computer. Like from what I can tell, like this program, like you run it, it downloads all of your passwords and stuff from your browsers. And so basically he has a copy of your browser as you. And so anything that is saved in that, you need to change in order to keep them out. And then obviously like take screenshots of all the monitors, zip up all that info, and send it back to him. And so I think the only reason that I didn't get hacked wasn't able to get me was that I changed my passwords faster than he was able to unzip and apply those passwords on his end. And so, because I was on it like immediately, like a minute into it, I was changing my passwords. And so I think there's a bit of luck, but I think it also comes down to like trying to be diligent about it. So another thing that I wound up doing, because you don't know what that program did when you double clicked it. Like, did it create software to run in the background? Did it create a log, a key log that can copy the stuff that you type and send it to him? did it whitelist itself so that scans don't catch it? Like it's like I don't know how I would know what it did when I clicked on that. So I basically took this opportunity to wipe my computer. I think that it was something I need to do anyways. This computer's like a decade old, and I've been looking at trying to, it's been getting kind of clunky lately anyways. So, I took this opportunity to clean stuff up, and it actually went pretty smoothly. The way that I organize my drives is that all of my programs and software and everything are on separate drives. So my actual C drive was, there wasn't a ton of stuff on my C drive anyway. So getting that cleaned out was actually it was something I needed to do anyways. The most pain in the ass part was having to change my credit cards, because it's like I know he has my credit card info. So we did that right away, and that was a pain because everything goes through my credit card, so that sucks. But mechanically, I got ahead of it. So I was looking back on it and thinking about, how did this make me feel? Because that feeling I had when this was going on was something I haven't felt since like I was a teenager. It was like, I think if I was to oversimplify, it was pure adrenaline. It was just like I was shaking the same way I was the last time I got in a physical fight with somebody, where it's like you're like dueling somebody. This is like a modern day duel, like this like digital dance that we just did. I was like terrified that he would get the best of me, but at the same time, there was like this machismo feeling of just being like, come mess with me, like you I outdid you. It's not like I'm like a hacker or anything like that, but it's just like there's the feeling of being able to outmaneuver him that made me feel like I won. And it was like I was like just shaking with adrenaline. I was overloaded. Like I also then got super sad for the person that didn't do that, that the one that messaged me, and she had to go through months of jumping through hoops to get all of her stuff to be able to live her online life again. And I don't know, it just got me thinking, like, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to participate in digital society when there's creeps like this out there? There's this, I wish that I could remember his name. I wish I'd give him credit, but it was a podcast I listened to that was talking about security. And basically, you can't have security and convenience at the same time. Like, if you want to be ultra secure, it's going to be ultra inconvenient. Like, you can't have both. If you really want to be secure, you wouldn't have a phone. Then people couldn't listen to you and like look at you through your camera, and like you would do all of these things that would mean that you wouldn't have any of the conveniences of modern day life. But that's a sliding parameter. It doesn't have to be like all the way on one side or the other. So where I messed up was the Google password, like how it remembers all of your passwords. Don't use that, because that's what they used. Like anything that Google remembered, that's the browser information that he collected when I clicked on that thing. So if I just didn't do that and used another software or something else, he wouldn't have had anything. He would have pulled a bunch of empty stuff, which would have been like not that big of a deal. I did do some things that I think made my situation a little bit better. Like one of the things that I do is I keep an offline spreadsheet that has all of my sensitive information on it. And so because it's not in like the normal spots on your computer, I don't think that you could like automate a simple program to like pull that information, because it's like, even if it pulled the spreadsheet somehow, it's like, how does it know how I organize my spreadsheet? Column A is names, or column B is like whatever. Like, it doesn't know that information. I think that there are some things that you can do to give up a little bit of convenience and be much more secure. One of which is not using the autofill on your browser, but also turning on two-factor authentication on everything. And any security protocols that websites offer, just do it. You know, if it takes a little bit longer to log in every time, that's the cost of doing business, you know? Like when I order hot wings now, I have to log in with the password, use an authenticator, and it sends me a message, and I have to validate that message every time. And it's like, and I have to put in my information every time. But it's like, you know, maybe I shouldn't have hot wings be like so easy to order. Maybe it's for the better. So I think that another thing that you have to think about is just like be smart about how you live your digital life. You know, it really sucks that you can't trust even private messages from people you know on these platforms, because you don't know if they're being posed as by like a scammer. So basically you have to like look at everything with a little bit of skepticism, and especially if you're going to download anything, treat it like, you know, the bombs. Be your own bomb squad for anything you download. I run a virus check on anything I download through Malwarebytes. I do love Malwarebytes. It's really easy to use. So kind of a slight pitch for that. Use softwares like that, like Malwarebytes. Be really careful with anything you download. Be careful with the websites that you go to. I subscribe to Incogni after this. This isn't sponsored or anything. Like I've seen a bunch of people sponsored by it, and they convinced me that I should use it, and it has been working pretty well. So it just wipes your personal data off of like these public. You can just like Google yourself, and all of your private information is there. So it takes all that stuff down, and it's been working pretty well. It sucked for anybody that's been hit by this. It really sucks, because I mean, you're still going to have to change all your passwords. Like there's no real way around that. And I have hundreds of passwords online, so it takes a couple. It did give me some validation with like knowing how to organize my digital security with everything. So I hope that this video winds up being somewhat helpful for some of you people. Be careful with everything. Be careful with who you're messaging. Careful with what you're downloading. Just be safe out there. And I'll drop another video before 7 months. I promise. We'll see you next time, guys.